Hey everyone, welcome back to GL Spinners. Today I've got another new Spinner Day video for you. We are taking a look at the Trifdgt from Venom Defense and Design. This one came in just the other day, and I went with the stainless steel version with the titanium buttons. I always like to show you guys what these spinners come in, and this one came without a tin, but it's not just a cheap baggie either. It's actually a pretty heavy duty Ziploc with some bubble wrap inside. It does have a nice branded cardboard label here at the top that's got Venom's name, logo, and website on the front, and on the reverse it has an American flag stating their products are engineered and manufactured in the US. So not the worst, but still not a 10. But let's look at the spinner itself. This is a chunky mini tri-arm spinner. It's going to weigh in at 69 grams or about 2.4 ounces. And it's pretty short too. From end to end, it's going to measure in at about 1 7/8 of an inch. So one thing you're going to notice is this spinner is machined very well. Like other US made spinners, you can really feel and see the quality on it. All the edges along the weights of the arms are chamfered nicely. And it kind of reminds me of the Very Dapper, the way the frame continuously wraps around the edges. Everything on this spinner is really smooth and nice to the touch. The weights here on the arms are on both sides, and while the arms aren't the longest, they are pushed out from the center as far as they can to help with the spin. They also have on each weight a nice milled out area, and these are designed to accept a 1.5 by 6 millimeter tritium vial. So if you want to add a glow effect while spinning, you can install 3 on each side. Moving to in hand, this is a great size for EDC. It spins smoothly and has a really nice balance to it. With that nice machining, you're not going to feel any rough edges or hot spots on it. And as it's a true tri-arm spinner, it has a great finger groove for nice one-handed spinning. With this one, again, with the compact size, you can really fidget with it however you like, any finger, any method, push, pull, it doesn't matter. So moving on to the buttons, like I said, they are titanium and they are very large, which I love. They're concave and they've got a nice chamfered raised edge along the outside, and all that gives you a really nice grip. They actually also have some very slight texturing as well. There is a shallow spiral that's on both sides of the buttons. But one thing I will point out is you can see there are some imperfections on mine. While you don't really feel them with your fingers, in the right light they do show, so it's not a big deal, but it is something to point out. So the buttons are threaded on this, but there's such a small gap between the weights and the buttons themselves. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to unscrew. Takes a little bit longer than some other buttons. But underneath here you can see some more design elements. They've got some nice cutouts around the center, again pushing as much of that mass to the outside of the spinner as it can, and also a slightly different bearing. It's still an R188, but it's a hybrid ceramic shielded bearing. The majority we see now are open, but I haven't really found much of a difference either way. The bearing in this case is fit in the frame. I'm sure it's got some type of adhesive on it. Again, this is not my favorite style. I know a lot of higher-end spinners are using this method, but it's just a little bit more difficult to clean and maintain. Again, I'd prefer some sort of locking method, that way it's easy to replace if something happens. While not impossible to replace, it's just more difficult. So as usual, I took it out of the box before the video and did some table spins on it. Mine's averaging around 4 minutes, so not the longest, but definitely respectable for the size of the spinner. With that hybrid ceramic bearing in it, you don't really get that metallic sound, but you do kind of get like a whirring sound to it. It's not overly loud, but it's not completely silent either. Overall though, I think the spinner has a really nice, consistent, smooth spin. So I always like to give you guys an idea of the overall size of it, so I'm going to show it next to some similar spinners. Here on the right is going to be the Zentry Nano. The Trifdgt is going to be somewhat larger in pretty much every aspect, but again, you can see the shape is very similar on these two. They're that kind of like chunky, fat, smaller design. Here on the left, like I talked about earlier, is the Very Dapper. The Very Dapper is larger as the arms are longer and it weighs more, but the two share some design elements. Here you can see that edge that I was talking about. It's really similar on both and feels very much the same. The Very Dapper does have a little bit more of a gyroscopic feel as the arms are longer on it. But again, another similarity is they both have those cutouts around the center. This also though shows you the Trifdgt's button size. You can see how much larger they are in comparison to the ones on the Very Dapper. So they offer the Trifdgt in a lot of different standard metals: aluminum, brass, copper, stainless steel, and titanium. They range in price anywhere from $50 to $125. I'll have a link in the description below to their website where you can purchase it. But overall, I'm a fan of the Trifdgt. It kind of hits that sweet spot for EDC and just has a really great feel and spin. Let me know what you think about it. Do you own one? Did you put tritium vials in yours? As always, if you've got any questions, put them down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. If you like the video, be sure and give me a thumbs up, as it always helps. And if you want to see more spinner reviews and content, be sure and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching. Have a good one.